I come to this from the perspective of, even when I was Secretary of the Navy, saying we do not belong as an occupying power in that part of the world. It does not do our national security any good to be an occupying power in that part of the world. We opened up Pandora's box when we invaded Iraq because the lid came off on sectarian violence. Then when the government was formed, it's a Shia-dominated government, and there's historical animosity between the Shia and the Sunnis. The Shia are aligned loosely and otherwise with the Iranians, which is a Shia regime. Going into Iraq in the first place unleashed this sectarian violence. There was no al-Qaeda in Iraq when we invaded. My son was in Ramadi as a Marine infantryman during the Sunni awakening when al-Qaeda had come in and the Sunnis had tolerated them, and then there came a point where the Sunnis themselves said this is too much, and they were decapitating al-Qaeda. So right now, first of all, I would say the president has the legal authority to have used force, and the reasons that he gave largely were protecting Americans at the time. It's now expanded. The direct national security interest of the United States, I believe, and when it comes to this group, this terrorist group, ISIS, or however they want to call themselves now, is, are they involved in international terrorism or terrorism of the sort that can directly affect the United States? If so, we have the right under the United Nations Charter to do something with them. But we have to be very careful to define who they are, because there are a lot of Sunnis who are aligning themselves loosely with them because of what's happened after the Maliki government.
Did Chuck Hagel go too far when he said essentially that ISIS does represent that kind of threat that you just articulated?
He's got all the intel. He's the Secretary of Defense. I spent 5 years in the Pentagon. I'm not going to try to take issue with his statement. I would want to see what he was saying. But what we have to do is to be, in my view, is to be extremely careful in differentiating between terrorism and the animosities that the Sunnis have toward the government that was formed that would cause them to loosely identify. This was actually the same situation that was faced in 06-07, and I do not believe that we need to do this with American occupying forces in that country again.